Eden Lifestyle, transforming lives.
Hi, how are you doing? This is Eden Lifestyle and my name is Ezra.
And I'm Raquel.
And today we'll be speaking about a very important topic, one that is affecting thousands and even millions around the world. We'll be talking about the top 10 leading causes of indigestion. So first question is, Raquel, what is indigestion? Because I recognize today more than ever before, we have multitudes of people who are suffering with digestive illnesses. In fact, it is one of the major causes that we get for people who have different conditions that is related to the entire gastrointestinal tract. So what is indigestion?
Indigestion is basically the inability of the body to digest food or to break down food in the way that it's supposed to, causing a number of different symptoms related to it. And some of these symptoms include things like acid reflux, bloating, flatulence.
Oh yes, and any form of gas someone may have, even acidic stomach, or even growling stomach. Anyone recently had their stomach grumbling and growling. All those are different forms of indigestion, and it's something that many people experience from a day-to-day basis.
And studies actually show that many persons that suffer with indigestion think that it's normal, so they don't even know that they suffer with indigestion.
Which is very true. And one of the major symptoms as well is even constipation. And again, that is one of the leading issues that is going on in the US. If you think about a laxative, it's one of the most over-the-counter sold drugs.
Yes, it's said that.
Oh yes, go ahead.
It's said that the average American uses the bathroom once every 3 days. Now thinking about people are backed up. So,
that is chronic constipation.
Yes,
actually.
there is a major problem as it relates to digestion.
So again, our goal is to help put an end to a lot of the digestive issues that you have, and we're going to make it so simple. I remember, not too long ago when we flew over to one of the Caribbean islands, someone came up to us because they had certain form of indigestion as well. And what I shared with them was something that is so simple that no matter where you are, even if you're in Africa, in the Caribbean, in America, then you can apply it right at home. And we're going to make it in a few simple steps, 10 top causes of indigestion. And one of the principles to remember as we go along, the Bible gives a principle. In the book of Job chapter 29, the Bible tells us, the cause which I knew not, I search it out. So one of the things we'll be looking at is what are the causes of indigestion. So why is it so important to understand what causes indigestion?
It is important to understand what causes it, because once you figure out the cause, then you would have found the cure, or you would have found the answer. So the cure is in the cause.
The cure is in the cause.
Yes.
So again, what would you say is, what is first one we'll start off with. What is one of the major causes of indigestion for many people today?
I think one of the major causes of indigestion is one meal a day. And one meal a day, as in you're eating all day long, snacking all day long. Every time you see food, you put it into your mouth. And Ezra likes to give a joke that a lot of people are on a seafood diet.
Yes.
Yeah, they see food and they eat
They
it.
eat.
Yes. So snacking is one of the major causes of indigestion.
I mean, if you think about it, if that's going against the medical recommendation, because a lot of times for different illnesses, they may say, well, eat 6 meals. Now, how would that affect even your digestion? Eating 6 meals a day.
Well, the way that the body is set up, God created our bodies in such a way that there is actually a sequence or a flow when it comes to digestion. And you learn that digestion begins in the mouth with the act of chewing. So every time you begin the process of chewing, you're starting or initiating digestion. So your gastric juices are being released, your hydrochloric acid, your saliva, everything that it takes to break down food begins. And once it begins, then it has to go through a process. And once that process is interrupted, guess what?
What happens?
The food stops digesting, the new food comes in, the body starts to digest the new food. The food that has been there is sitting in a temperature of 98.6 degrees. What happens when something sits in that temperature?
It begins to putrefy. That's a toxic environment is being created. Individuals develop things like gas now as a result.
Yes.
Even to the effect when your food is not digested well, a lot of it remains in the entire colon wall area, and most people get constipated.
Yes.
And as a result, several other conditions occur as a result of even that. So it's very dangerous even being able to snack. So again, if you look at it, if snacking is the cause of indigestion, one of the simple things to do is not eating so frequently. And just following a simple plan where you can actually space out your meals. What would you recommend? What time frame maybe?
About 4 to 6 hours, anywhere between that time frame.
Good.
Yes.
So definitely. So
for every meal.
And again, number one. So we'll move on to number two. Now, one of the other causes I realized for indigestion is overeating. Now, you may wonder, okay, well, overeating. Yeah, definitely, because a lot of times, even eating the good food or even eating good quality of food, if you overeat and eat too much, guess what? You wouldn't be able to assimilate it well.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people, we don't really focus on assimilation because majority of the foods, you have to really think and question, are we really using it properly and efficiently? Because you can eat 10, 20, 50 apples at one go, but doesn't mean you got any benefit from it. And so overeating is a fruitful cause of disease, illness, and especially indigestion. So what would you say then is another cause of indigestion?
Another cause of indigestion is stress, the S word. Now, stress is a killer in every single aspect of the word, and stress causes indigestion. And I'm sure if you really pay attention to your body, you will notice that when you are stressed, guess what? Your hunger goes away. That is God in His mercy allowing your body to not want food at that time, because if it did, guess what? That food will not be broken up as it should. So stress is one of the leading causes of indigestion.
Definitely. In fact, when people are stressed, the entire digestion is stopped. It's halted. So one thing I really recommend to anyone watching is, if you're having a bad day, if you're very stressful at that moment, it's best you skip a meal. It's best you skip a meal, and because you'll be doing your body more harm. Because your body is not in a position to be able to break down and be able to assimilate the food efficiently to get the nutrition that you need. You see, your body wants nutrition. That's what it needs. If your body is unable to digest it, it occurs in so many other forms, in which you get different symptoms that are experienced. Now, another thing that I will mention along with stress, I'll definitely mention late night eating. And it's a big one, because guess what? Majority of people are eating late at night. As a result, this is what happens now. Let's say right before bedtime, we look into the refrigerator. Oftentimes we go in, we look in and out, wondering what is there, especially stay up late. Then as a result of, seeing something, we take something in the refrigerator, we eat it, we consume it, then we go to sleep. And if you really think about it for a moment, when you go to sleep with food in your stomach, when you're sleeping, everything begins to slow down. Digestion slows down, the body function slows down, and the body is really wanting to repair itself, wanting to be able to restore itself. But now we have a whole bunch of food here, and the body is working overtime, trying to digest the food that is going on. And as a result, a lot of it is not even digested properly, because our body is not in a position at that moment, at that time, to be able to digest the food that we need. Hydrochloric acid is not even, high enough to be able to assist our body in the entire breakdown. And, all the other different enzymatic, digestive enzymes that are needed is not efficiently available to be able to break it down.
And then you have the issue again of food sitting in a temperature of 98.6 degrees. It petrifies, it ferments, and all of that toxin is reabsorbed into the bloodstream, creating toxic blood. So we already see how just digestional issues lead into a number of other health conditions.
Definitely. And someone may be listening, they may think, well, wow, those things are so simple. Will this really help? I'm telling you, majority of the reasons why we are in the position that we're in are because of lifestyle habits. It's very simple. It's not about saying, hey, indigestion is caused by maybe bladder disorders, whatever it is. But what is it that is causing your gallbladder not to function well? So we're going back to the root causes. And, if you have to really address an issue and get an actual cure for anything, you always have to go back to the root. You always have to go back to the root.
Another issue that causes indigestion is drinking with your meals. The body, again, God created our bodies in a fearful and wonderful way. He took time and thought into creating these mechanisms, and He created the juices, the saliva, the hydrochloric acid, all the fluids that we need to break down the food that we eat. And when we drink extra fluid with that, guess what? it washes away the properties,
Oh, yes.
or it causes excess fluid, so the body has to try to get rid of that excess fluid so that it could do its work. But it's just putting an extra strain on the body, causing the body to work overtime.
Yes.
And again, it leads to fermentation in the blood, in the body. Sorry, it leads to fermentation, and then that and then that is reabsorbed into the bloodstream.
Oh, yeah, which is very true. I mean, it dilutes all your enzymatic fluids, and it becomes very dangerous. You know, it becomes it generates and it creates different forms of indigestive type of symptoms, which is something that you want to be able to rule out from your entire lifestyle. Being able to rule out drinking with meals. It's something that is very important.
Yes, and just as
yes.
a good note, you may be wondering, okay, so when do I drink? Well, a good habit is drinking about 30 minutes before you eat your meal, so you don't have the problem of being thirsty while you eat. And then another general rule is to drink something about 2 hours after you've eaten.
Oh, yes. And also, cut out a whole bunch of salt. A lot of times, because the food is so spiced up and salty, it's like, oh man, I just need something to wash it down.
Right.
So try those out and see how it works with you, definitely to be able to help. Another one that I will definitely mention is eating too fast. Now, a lot of times we're guilty of eating too fast. It's like sometimes you're in the rush and you're on the road and, you're just chewing and chewing. But one of the dangers, I mean, if you think about first, the first stage of digestion would be from the mouth.
Yes.
Now, you think about the mouth. The mouth, we release different saliva from the salivary glands. Along with that, we have what we call amylase, one of the different enzymes that is in the oral area that is designed to be able to digest your carbohydrates. But as a result now, if you're eating too fast, the saliva and the amylase is not mixing thoroughly, not doing its job thoroughly, and as a result, many people have, very little digestion of your carbs, and we get so many different digestive conditions because of just the mouth area not using it as we should, not being able to allow the entire salivary glands, the saliva and the amylase to be able to mix in with the entire food, allowing good and healthy digestion.
Yes.
So it's definitely a major cause as well.
So the answer to that is chew your food thoroughly. Chew your food thoroughly.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Tell us about condiments.
Condiments. So condiments, one of the major things about condiments, again, which is another cause of indigestion, it affects us in a variety of ways. One of the key things in majority of our condiments is filled up one of the things even with alcohol, now in the form of even vinegar. Now that is something that is a fermented beverage. Any fermented beverage really mixing with our foods, it will also cause the other foods to ferment, and it also will cause the other food to not digest thoroughly, not digest properly. So condiments also is one of the key reasons why a lot of people, adding in so much mustards and the regular peppers. And again, very soon we will be posting up some good recipes on how you can make some good wholesome condiments, with the simple ingredients, without the extra stuff that may cause a whole bunch of indigestion, without the high fructose corn syrup, without the sugars and the vinegar and all those other ingredients that is designed to prevent our food from digesting properly.
Yes. Another leading cause of indigestion is bad food combinations.
Oh yes, definitely.
Bad food combinations. We eat the right foods, but we're eating it in the wrong ways. And that affects a lot of people without us even knowing. When you think about it, our digestive systems are so delicate, so delicate. And mixing the wrong foods in improper ways, it causes indigestion.
Oh, yeah.
It causes fermentation. The foods, because they have so different chemical makeups, then when it comes together, the body is not able to handle it as it should to turn it into good blood. So just being aware of improper combinations, and one example of that is mixing fruits and vegetables.
Oh, definitely. Something that is very detrimental. I'm telling you, combination of fruits and vegetables, what it does, it actually creates fermentation in the entire digestion period, in the entire stomach. And as a result, sometimes people wonder like, wow, I feel a little, it's really because of your bad combinations. So it's plain, strawberry and a piece of lettuce, they don't go together. It's something that it just creates indigestion in the stomach. And by just implementing that, by just separating that, eating fruits at one meal, vegetables at another meal, you'll experience the results that you really want, and ensuring that you have a good digestion. Another one I'll mention along those topics we mentioned a little before, salivary aspect, is chewing gum and snacking. The same principle. Chewing gum, as a result of constantly chewing gum, again, we know It secretes a whole bunch of hydrochloric acid into the stomach area. As a result, when it's time for your meal, there's a very low hydrochloric acid concentration that is actually needed for digestion. And as a result, our meal doesn't get digested properly. We get even things like ulcers and other things developing as a result of production of hydrochloric acid due to constantly chewing.
And not only that, but even as we chew, the body is expecting food to come in.
Yes.
And when that food doesn't come in, guess what? It needs, to do something.
Oh, yes.
So it begins to eat the linings of our stomach walls. And that's how we develop a number of stomach conditions. And the last one that we will mention is fried foods.
Fried foods.
Tell us about
fried very essential. With fried foods, I mean, what do you use to fry food? Oils. Now, the thing about oils and high fats and oils and all of those, it slows down digestion. In fact, fat even slows down some people's digestion sometimes up to 3 days. And with your digestion just being slowed down, your entire transit time being slowed down, we develop a lot more other conditions. Constipation comes as a result. We have all different forms of bloating. There's very little bile that is now able to digest those fats and break it apart thoroughly. So it's definitely, even in your plant foods, you can even be guilty of frying it. I mean, even if you have some good old organic non-GMO tofu or whatever it is, and you fry it, guess what? It's the same effect that is being created. So again, I do hope that those simple but yet powerful and potent remedies that you can actually apply to your life, where you can experience the difference in your digestion, where you can actually get full relief from your digestive issues by simply going to the cause.
Yes.
By simply going to the cause.
Remember that the cure is in the cause.
The cure is in the cause.
And if this video was a blessing to you, don't just keep it to yourself, but share it with every single person that you know. And don't hesitate to give us a like. And if you have not subscribed to our channel,
hit the subscribe button.
Yes, and expect more videos in the future.
And definitely look for out in the description. We will be putting out an article very soon on this as well.
Yes.
All right.
Give us a like and God bless you.
The cure is in the cause.
Yes.
All right.